How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the lair. And today I have another historic deck for you. I call this one Dusk Rose Charge. I'm sorry. So let's get into it. Onto the one drops. I have the full play set of Knight of the Ebon Legion. He's a 1/2 Vampire Knight. We can activate his ability, and he gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until the end of turn. And at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Onto the 2 drops, I'm running the full play set of Paladin of Atonement. He's a 1/1 Vampire Knight. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Paladin of Atonement. And when Paladin of Atonement dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. I've got a full play set of Legion Lieutenant. He's also a Vampire Knight. Other vampires you control get +1/+1, and he's a 2/2. Onto the 3 drops, I'm running 3 copies of Midnight Reaper. He's a Zombie Knight, 3/2. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you, and you draw a card. I'm running 3 copies of Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord. He comes in at 4 loyalty. His +1 ability says target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a +1/+1 counter on it. His second +1 ability says you may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. And his -3 ability says you may put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield. I'm running 3 copies of Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. He's a 1/3 Vampire Cleric. And whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and then we can activate his ability later, and creatures you control gain lifelink until the end of turn. I'm running 3 copies of Murderous Rider. He's an adventure creature. The adventure side, swift end, at instant speed, destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life. And then the creature side, he's a Zombie Knight, 2/3 with lifelink, and when he dies, we put it on the bottom of our library. I'm running 3 copies of Knight's Charge. It's an enchantment. Whenever a knight you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And then we can activate its ability later on and return all knight creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Onto the 4 drops, I have 3 copies of Sanctum Seeker. She's a 3/4 Vampire Knight, and whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I have 2 copies of Elenda, the Dusk Rose. She's a 1/1 with lifelink Vampire Knight. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elenda of the Dusk Rose. And when Elenda dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Elenda's power. And then I'm running 3 copies of Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. Comes in at 4 loyalty. His static ability says as long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. His +2 ability says Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. And his -X ability says return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So when we bring back, for instance, our Midnight Reaper or our Murderous Rider, they become vampires, so they get the buff from Legion's Lieutenant. They also can get counters from Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord as well. And then they'll also ping off of Knight's Charge. And then on the top end, we have 1 copy of Vona, Butcher of Magan. She's also a Vampire Knight, 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink. We can activate her ability, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. So yeah, it's a Vampire Knight hybrid deck, mainly vampires. The only non-vampire creatures we have is our 3 Midnight Reapers and our 3 Murderous Riders. However, they are still knights, so they do activate Knight's Charge. The idea is that we want to swarm the board early with vampires. Paladin can just keep growing and growing and becomes a threat eventually on his own. Knight of the Ebon Legion, we all know, is a fantastic card, and it also just happens to be a Vampire Knight and a 1-drop. So it helps kind of round out our curve. Midnight Reaper is our source of card draw. Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord has a multifaceted use, but you know, we could use him to put in some of our more expensive vampires if we put him onto the battlefield, or we can pump up a vampire or sacrifice. Vito is the main combo trick in this deck. He's a vampire, so he gets buffed from Legion's Lieutenant. He can also be buffed by Sorin, Imperious, Bloodlord. But, you know, his static ability is what we're trying to do. So between Vito and Knight's Charge, we're going to be pinging the hell out of the opponent, gaining a lot of life. And also, if we have a Sanctum Seeker down, that's 3 pings for each attacking creature. If we get an Elenda out, she dies, create a shitload of 1/1 vampires that help ping if we have a Sanctum Seeker. Vona, Butcher of Magan is just an amazing card and fits very well into the deck all around. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Let's get into the mana base. I have 5 plains, 1 Castle Locthwain, 6 swamps, 4 Godless Shrines, 4 Isolated Chapels, 2 Scoured Barrens, and 2 Temple of Silence. We have 27 creatures, a 2.8 converted mana cost, running 24 lands. So before we get into the game, like always, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It helps us out so much. Feel free to drop me a comment, talk about strategy, deck ideas, misplays. I read the comments daily. If you have any friends or family that are into Magic, please share the channel with them. DREMORIAN'S LAIR is my YouTube channel. You'll have to search for it. And then you can also watch me on Twitch at iDREMORIAN is my gamer tag. And thanks for watching. So let's get into some games. Let's see how we do. I am going to be having some fun with that Vito guy card. So many jank possibilities. Beefus of Long Wang. Wow. Okay. I think we keep this. Take this guy out. And that way at least we can start getting the benefit from Vito. Lotus Field, okay. So what's the move here? Let's get out Vito. And next turn, Sanctum Seeker. Thorn has what, 4 lands right now? Maybe. Okay, 5 lands now. Hybrid Crisis. Not too big, I guess. attack with Vito here. Get a double ping. And he takes the damage. Why did he take the damage? He could have just blocked. Can't play both, right? So let's destroy the Hydroid so we can attack in. And we'll play the Murderous Rider. We'll go with everything. It's a lot of pings. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. Got a little taste there of what the deck can do. That was a questionable hand I kept, but it ended up working out, so let's move on to the next one. Right. I believe tomorrow's video I'll be doing a probably a draft. Gotta get on this M21. Psycho Cow. Excuse me. I guess we can keep this. Shocking in for Llanowar Elves. Pick up a knight, which is nice. I think I'm gonna take the risk here and play Paladin instead of playing the Scoured Barrens. We heard Knight's Charge. Nice setup. Mill yourself. He's running Maelstrom Pulse.
Wherever I go, I leave bodies in my way.
Address me as Queen of the Dead, please. I am strong. You grow weak.
The ends justify the means.
I've got my own animator tricks.
You taste my blade. Belong to me now. This is but a taste of my power.
You think too much.
He must have another Rask in his hand, or yeah.
Your demise won't be quick. Pity we couldn't have been allies.
Hollow today. I drink only the finest. Blood calls to your soul.
Discard a card. Target shooter sex into the turn of X. Graveyard. Wow. So we'll take out Vraska here.
The strong.
Next turn we'll bring back the knight again, I guess.
A triumph.
Cool.
Sorry for your loss.
I bestow a mighty curse.
Next. Okay.
You can scream if it hurts too much.
Wow. He's ignoring Sorin. I guess it doesn't make sense to just try and keep him alive, I guess.
Close the view.
That's a pretty cool trick with Cave of Eternity and Fiend Artisan there. Very cool. Got a nice top deck there with Maelstrom Storm. I guess we just block, right? Get to shuffle him back into our library. Think honestly.
Your blood is mine. Accept the darkness within.
Alright, I'm not gonna drag this out. Interesting deck, though. Unfortunately, he had our Knight's Charge early and kind of just kept shutting us down, so we weren't able to really build up any type of offense. But let's get into another one. Malcatraz, okay. So, another 2-lander here, but we do have Scry. We got a Midnight Reaper. 2 Midnight Reapers. So, let's keep this. Play our temple first, looking for a land. Knight's Charge. I think we need land, right? Gotta go for the land. Okay, there's a land. Very nice. Let's play our Paladin. Sorin, I guess. I'm fine with that. Wow. All right. So, phylactery lich control. Anytime now. 2-lander again, but we do have a Knight, we have Atonement, we have Midnight Reaper. This looks great. Keep this. Play out our Knight here. Does he have another shot? Oh no, he's just trying to select the stage. I think we need to get this Midnight Reaper out as soon as possible. Reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of those cards, put that card into your hand unless any opponent pays 3 life, then exile the rest. Pay 3 life. Take action. Let's get the Reaper out there. Gutters. Gutters. Gotta get something going, right? So let's play I think we gotta get this Sanctum Seeker out. That nice thick 3/4 right there. Lightning strike to the face. Okay. Well, risk factor. Okay. Climb. There's our Vito. But I think we have to get our Sorin out there so we can kind of recover a little bit.
I did not
Let's gain
stop
some life here.
but I will finish it.
Let's do this right here.
What a
So we go in with everything. I'm gonna gain some life anyways. Okay. And we'll have plenty of life for Gutter Snipe. One to the face. Interesting. So Knight and Paladin are kind of, yeah, but Legion and Paladin are kind of like a yin and yang, you know? Keep going, my man. Got a ways to go. Shit, he might be able to do it. So that turn we would have done, just so you know, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 life just from the pings from Sanctum Seeker. Then we would have gained 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 30, 34, almost 38 damage in one round there between all the pings. So that was more like it. It's more like how I imagine the deck performing. Terror of the Peaks, or whatever this dragon is in this picture. I want that card, man. It's so sick. Like a 5/4 flying. 5/4 flying. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it does damage to any target equal to the creature's power, I believe. It's retarded. Alright, so we got a nice 3-lander here. We got a Knight of the Ebon Legion, a Paladin of Atonement, into a Sorin. We're going to keep this. Here, I think I'm going to go the more aggressive route and do Legion Lieutenant. Then we'll play our Paladin. Let's play Sorin, kind of spread it out a little bit. Assuming this is a control build, so I'm expecting a board wipe. So I think we have enough. I mean, he has to start doing this quick. All right. Well, there you see the power of our early curve. I kept getting, the last couple hands, games, I kept getting 2-landers. I mean, I have 24 land in the deck. I don't think I need 25. I think I'm just, you know. But yeah, that's the flow, more of the flow that we expect from that deck. But we got to see a little bit of everything, basically how the deck should perform. The potential is there, I believe. We just had some bad games. But you know, you saw some wins. You saw some very aggressive wins, and then you saw the ping damage going off with Vito and Sanctum Seeker. So hope you guys enjoyed for today. Like always, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. It helps us out so much. drop me a comment, talk about strategy, deck ideas, misplays. I read the comments daily. And if you have any friends or family that are into Magic, please share the channel with them. My YouTube channel is DREMORIAN'S LAIR. You have to search for it. And then you can catch me on Twitch. My gamer tag is iDremorian. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.